Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, we're going to be doing a full deep dive champion guide on Turvold, where we show him in action as a champion, talk about building him, do some kit analysis, and then also grade him overall as a champion. So let's get into it. And a huge shout out to Bloodline Heroes of Lithis for sponsoring today's video. New legends will be born. You can try it out completely free of charge via the links provided down below or by using this QR code. Now, Bloodline Heroes of Lithis is a new mobile game hitting the scene as a Western fantasy with full 3D graphics, providing a great mobile experience that has smooth and easy controls on a vertical screen. Featuring a unique spin on the RPG gacha gameplay with the air system that they are introducing. Pursue collecting a variety of different legendary champions and pass on your powers to heirs in a fantasy world. Full control over choosing your path to make your house stronger by merging bloodlines with light sim gameplay that enables the building of your own kingdom and economy. So why not try it out completely free of charge? I've provided everything you'll need in the description and the pinned comment. Also, make sure to take advantage of the gift code provided to obtain 20 infantry packs, 100,000 gold, and 100 diamonds.
New legends will be born. Download free now.
Alrighty, now the reason for this video at the time of recording this is there is a guaranteed champion event for Turvold where you can pull 80 void shards and then you are guaranteed to get a Turvold on your 80th shard. So since I have a Turvold, since I do use him on my main account here, I thought it would be fun, a fun opportunity and a decent timing to get a champion guide out there where we wrap up our full thoughts and talk about the whole process around Turvold. So first of all, for some champion analysis, starting with the stats, everything looks pretty normal for an attack damage dealing type champion, where you've got the huge base attack of almost 1500, and then the defense is about normal for an attack champion. The base HP is a little bit low, but he does have the boosted up 63% crit damage. You usually see like 50, 57, or 63, so he's got the higher end of the base there. Now his base speed is a little bit low at 93, but he's not like an Arbiter with Sandra type turn meter booster, so it's not the end of the world. And then he does get 40 base resistance, which is nice. It is a little bit unfortunate that he has a 0 accuracy because he does place debuffs. Which leads us into the kit where we've got an A1 that attacks one enemy 2 times with a 55% chance that we can book up to 75 of placing the big version of Weaken for 2 turns, which is pretty handy. You've got some decent damage on a multi-hitter A1 that also places a Weaken and debuff, so very solid on the A1. Then we get the A2, place a 50% increase attack buff and a 30% increase crit rate buff, plus the big version of speed on the champion for 2 turns and grant an extra turn. So typically, when you do see a lower base speed on a good champion, it can be an indicator of some sort of a mechanic like this, granting an extra turn or boosting their turn meter inherently or something to make up for that base speed. So super nice that he gets all of this self-buffing while also granting an extra turn, basically doing it for free. Then the A3 here is attack one enemy 2 times. Damage increases according to the number of buffs on this champion. If the target is killed, reset the cooldown of this skill. So you can book it to a 3-turn cooldown, but you would be able to turn around and do it right away again if you get a kill with it. And he also has an aura of ally attack and faction crips by 42%. So Barbarians is one of the easier faction crips, typically one of the 3 easiest. It's like High Elves, Barbarians, one of the in terms of the easier ones. So if you're setting up a speed team later on, he would be a great lead and maybe shave off a few seconds on your faction crip runs, because that is a huge increase to attack. So now I will pull up the Turvold that I've got built on my account, and we'll talk about the booking, the masteries, and the building process. So, okay, here is my Turvold that I use, and full disclosure, the Turvold on my account is going to be used in my clan boss team. He is the DPS carry in my unkillable team that I built with Deadwood Jedi, the clan boss guru himself. If you want to see a link to that video showcasing Turvold as a damage dealer and the full thought process of putting together that team, I have a link to it over there for you if you want to check that out. But keep that in mind when you look at the base stats on my Turvold, and I will put the camera down if you want to take a look at the stats there. You can see really prioritizing the attack, getting that all the way up to like 6,300 and building him as a speed-tuned glass cannon at 169 speed with enough accuracy to make sure I'm landing that Weaken consistently on the difficulty of clan boss that I am going up against. The building process for him is going to be decently simple. As a damage dealer, you're looking for the normal stuff like crit rate, crit damage, and attack. But he does have a similar mechanic to Cold Heart because of the increase to crit rate. So you'll notice that my Turvold only has a 78% crit rate, and that is because of the A2 here, where he's going to get that permanent increased crit rate buff on himself to place it for 2 turns and then grant an extra turn. So we can build him with a little bit lower crit rate. As long as we're over 70, we should be good. And then we can just stack a bunch of crit damage and attack on him and have him hitting like an absolute tank. Which means if we go through the pieces, you'll either want probably an attack banner or an accuracy banner, depending on hitting enough accuracy to land those weekends. If you prioritize that, as long as you can hit the accuracy like I have for the context I'm using him in, go with the attack banner because he really does scale very well because of the bonus crit rate that he gets and because of the insane damage he can put out. So we do want a crit damage amulet on him with accuracy and attack and whatever stats we can get besides that. On the ring, we want just attack typically as the main stat, and then as much percentage stats as we can get on the lower side. You can go with attack percent boots on him as long as you've got him speed tuned properly for the content you were clearing. He will scale well with attack gear. Same as chest, you want attack percent. And then the gloves, you're probably going to want to go crit damage. Sometimes you can either go crit rate or crit damage on your damage dealers, but since he gets the bonus crit rate, you want to try and make it work with crit damage gloves. So get crit damage on both the gloves and the amulet and have them synergize, and then try to get to 70% crit rate on your other pieces. The top pieces can be a good opportunity for that. You see I have 19% on my shield, and then kind of getting a bunch of attack here on the helm because I already hit enough crit rate. And then we've also got the normal stats you would expect on the weapon here. For the booking process, I believe he takes like 10 or 11. It's 5, 6 plus 5 is 11. Yeah, so he takes 11 books. And you don't have to feel bad about booking him because he is a Void Legendary. He will be a DPS carry in Faction Wars, and he can also be a DPS carry in an unkillable clan boss team. Now, he's not a support. He's not like a Siphi or a Duchess. He's not a Reviver or something to maybe help you 3-star content or progress in dungeons super well, but he does have endgame value and he can be a DPS carry. So even on the A1, you don't really have to feel bad about the books because getting that 20% damage on a multi-hitter A1 that places weaken is going to be a pretty decent source in any context you're using him as a DPS carry. So his book value is pretty decent. Then for the masteries, I can slide myself over here a little bit, and the first thing that jumps out to you is you may be curious, like, what are you doing not getting Helm Smasher if he's a DPS character? Why do you not want him ignoring defense? Like, because you'll see that I had him in like cruel gear and stuff, and ignore defense is great on him in general, but I'm using him on my account in the context of the clan boss. The clan boss has pretty low defense, so you will actually scale over the course of 50 turns a little bit better by using War Master compared to Helm Smasher. And that was the advice Deadwood Jedi gave me, who has tested it extensively himself in this context with Turvold. So that is why you always want to make note of you and how you're using a champion instead of blindly copying masteries, because if you're not using this guy versus the clan boss, you do probably want to go with Helm Smasher for PvE content that is not the Demon Lord, and also PvP content. Then a couple other notable things on the masteries is that Sniper is actually a decent mastery on him, because remember that A1, we're going to get a little bit of a bonus chance because it doesn't book up to 100, it books up to 75. So Sniper will take that multi-hit weaken up to 80% instead of 75. And then you can get a little bit of a help here from the accuracy tree. But other than that, we're definitely going to be going down the offense tree with him. And I could put myself down here for a little bit if you would like to get a screenshot of the masteries I'm using here in the context of a clan boss unkillable Turvold. Now I want to show you him in action just so you can get a feel of what he is doing here on the battlefield. Now, something I do want to talk about is he self-buffs himself with the crit rate. And if you are building him around doing that, if you build him with 70% crit rate, you do want to make note of the custom AI and possibly set that up, because I'm going to show you. Let me move my camera again here. Let's move me over here and flip it so it still looks normal. So I want him to self buff himself to get the crit rate, but what you'll notice is when I hit this auto button on the bottom left, that he won't do that. He'll just run in and do his ability. I'm going to hit auto in 3, 2, 1, And you can see he runs in and does his Juggernaut ability. So he did not have 100% crit rate when he did that because of how his AI functions. So make sure you're paying attention to that and possibly going through and setting up a custom team when you're going to be featuring him as a DPS champion, taking advantage of that lower crit rate to get extra crit damage. Like I did with my Clan Boss team, I made sure to go in and set that up properly. But now I'll go ahead and let this rip. You can see there he's getting a cooldown reduction because he's getting a kill. So he runs in, decrease cooldown. And he can just kind of keep cycling out and doing a bunch of damage because of that. Running in, gets a kill, decrease cooldown, decrease cooldown. So you can see how he can really be a beast and snowball and be a solo DPS carry somewhere like Faction Wars for sure. But I can also show you what he looks like in the context of my Clan Boss team. You can see right here, I've got the Myth Fu composition going on with the Fushan, the Turvold, the Seeker, the Demetha, and the Heiress, with Turvold being the one responsible for cranking out the DPS carry. And then I can show you what I was talking about when it comes to the AI of my Turvold. So you can see right here with the Ancestor's Power, that's going to be increasing the crit rate. I have got that as the priority first choice right there to make sure I'm correcting the AI and making sure I'm able to take advantage of building him with the lower crit rate. But now let's go ahead and I'll pop the team and I'll let you kind of see what he looks like in an endgame Clan Boss composition. And kind of the numbers he's putting up here on Ultra Nightmare. And here we go. Bang, bang. So there was like 250k damage right there on that one turn. So now let's go ahead and fast forward to the end of the run, and you can get an idea of what kind of damage he cranks out in an end game unkillable. Look at that. That was almost 600k right there when he ran in and did that turn. So let me show you the kind of numbers that he puts up here at the end of the Clan Boss run. So, okay, here we are at the very end of the Clan Boss run, and look at that. You can see Turvold cranking out the almost 41 million damage here on Ultra Nightmare and easily getting me to 1 key status with the stats that you saw right there on the champion that I was building. And now for the fun part, let's pull up the grading system, and I'll give you my thoughts here on Turvold and how he ranks. So, for book value, he takes, what was it, 11, 5, 6, 5, 11. The book value is pretty decent, because he does have some endgame value on being a Clan Boss damage dealer, but there are other champions that can fill that role. He's not going to really be a carry in PvP or tag team arena, but really good in Faction Wars and Clan Boss, so it'd be like an 8.5 or so. He doesn't take like 16 books or anything, and he's mostly a decent champion. The arena, he's not going to be great there. I'd go like a 5. Hydra, again, he can crank out a decent amount of damage if you keep him alive. He places weaken on the A1. He can self-buff, but nowhere near as good as he is like in an unkillable comp where you can just go like full glass and hit a certain threshold. So I'd probably go like a 7.2 or something. Demon Lord, again, he's really good in a composition like I was using him for. He's like a 10 there. But in like a normal Clan Boss team, he does place the weaken and hit super hard. I'd probably go like an 8.5 or a 9 probably when you add in the unkillable type stuff. Faction Wars, he's like a 9.5. He's not like a Duchess or anything that can really carry a Faction Wars team, but he can be the featured DPS champion for sure. Doom Tower, outside of being like a damage dealer, not that great. Dungeons, he's mostly fine. He can place the weaken and stuff and hit hard. Scarcity, I don't think he brings anything super special. The weaken on the A1 is nice. The self-buffing crit rate is nice. That's a little bit rare. It's champions like him and Coldheart and stuff. Yeah, there's nothing super special, but some of that stuff is kind of nice to have. I'd probably go like a 7 on scarcity. And I gotta fix some of this coloring here. Legendary is supposed to be that color, and then the barbarians are also kind of like that different color as well. Let me fill this in here, and there we go. Okay, so 7.73. That's a good champion. He's not like a 9, or you know, like a Lady Kimmy or something, but he is really solid in the roles that he fills in the game. So I did also do a poll on the YouTube channel in the community to see if people felt like he is worth 80 shards or not. And this is kind of the results of that right there, coming out about a 4-to-1, 80-20 ratio on is Turvold worth 80 void shards if you're going to get a guaranteed one during that 80 shards at the end. And I believe people are falling in the no category a little bit more often because, like I said, he's not really an account carry. He's not an account changer as like a support champion or in PvP. He's more of a niche damage dealer. But he is really solid at the role that he fills, and he ends up grading out pretty decent as a champion, so you don't have to regret building him or anything like that. So, yeah, anyway, let me know what you think down below, where you agree, where you disagree on a Turvold as a champion, and good luck on using your Turvold in-game. As always, remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Raid Shadow Legends content. Thanks for watching. I will see you soon in the next video. Peace.